I've bought another watch, and I think this is it. I think this is a watch that, for right now, completes the collection. Welcome to Buck and Jack, I'm Adrian, and this channel is just about me talking about watches, drinking coffee, chatting with you guys. So if you're into that sort of stuff, hit subscribe down the bottom and that bell icon as well. So I've bought a new watch, and it kind of ticks all the boxes of what I needed it to tick. At least so far, I think it's done that. Before we get into it, let's quickly have a little advert for my NATO straps. If you're into NATO straps, there'll be a link down below. After this video, click on the link and it will take you through to buckandjack.shop. Go check out our NATO straps. We ship worldwide. I needed a watch that was going to compete with my Explorer. This is my Explorer, and it's my main watch. I love it. It's I have other watches. I have a Submariner, and I've got this Grand Seiko Quartz GMT. But the Explorer is my go-to watch. It's the one that if I'm in a hurry, I'll just pick it up and go. The watch that would compete with the Explorer, it needs to be a tall watch, it needs to be very versatile, it needs to be an everyday kind of piece. I don't quite think that this version of this Quartz Grand Seiko is an everyday watch because of that yellow. It's an awesome weekend watch, it's an awesome sporty watch. But I couldn't imagine someone wearing this with a suit unless they were very colourful already, and maybe they could have like a little pocket square that would match the yellow or something. It's a difficult watch to kind of dress up. This version is. The other ones I think are absolutely fine. You've got red and orange details. So other watches that I was looking at were various JLCs. There was JLC Polaris, which I think JLC is one of my favourite brands. I'm actually going to an event of theirs tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. And then there was Zenith El Primero, which awesome watch. But these watches I just didn't feel a connection with. Not the same way that I did with the Grand Seiko. And I kind of feel like you have to have that connection. You have to feel that kind of bond or that little spark with the watch. Then I made the video, I'll put links to all these videos up here. Then I made a video talking about how buy the watch you want to buy, not the watch you think the community wants you to buy. Ultimately, you're the one paying for the watch, not the community. And so you don't have to impress anyone else, you just have to impress yourself with the purchase. That video was motivated by two comments that I got during that kind of shopping process. One of the comments was from another YouTuber, Clive Watch Wrangler. I talked to him quite a bit, and I was asking him kind of, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I'm unsure about this and that. And he just responded with, go with your gut. And I kind of thought, yeah, of course, that's quite obvious. Why didn't I think of that? And so I've gone with my gut. Another comment was from a viewer on the second shopping video. And the comment was around how it sounds like you're trying to buy a watch for content as opposed to buying a watch for personal fulfillment. At the time, that comment kind of annoyed me, and I thought, no, I'm not buying this for the channel, I'm buying it for me. But then that comment kept going over and over in my head, and I realised that comment was true. I had been trying to look for a watch that would bring in content, or even worse, looking for a watch that you guys might think, yeah, that's a pretty cool watch. So anyway, there were two comments. It was go with the gut and buy something for your own fulfillment, not for the channel's fulfillment, not for anyone else's fulfillment. So I've done just that. I mean, there's gumph in here and stuff. You get all this free kind of marketing stuff when you get watches. They make a good chronograph, you've got to be fair to them. They do make good looking chronographs. But you know who else makes good chronographs? These guys make pretty good chronographs. I mean, they've had enough attempts at it, right? Well, what else was it going to be? I'm a fanboy. You get sucked up into these things. So now you're thinking, what's all the hype about? Why have I hyped this up so much? And the reason I've hyped this up so much is because I know people are going to get annoyed with the fact that I've bought another Rolex. I am a Rolex fanboy, and I know people get upset by the amount of Rolex content that I put out. But I like what Rolex do. I'm a very vanilla kind of guy in some things. But I like design to be just so. And that was why the Grand Seiko was a bit of a curveball, because this isn't an iconic design. It isn't a timeless design. Rolex is very, very good at nailing the whole design. The design language is what other people follow, and I'm drawn to that. Quite like Apple and quite like Porsche. They kind of set the scene and people follow that. One of the watches that I was looking for was a Rolex Explorer 2 with a polar dial. When I bought my first Rolex, which was the Explorer 2, I'd saved and saved and saved. I had £2,500 and the watch I could afford was an Explorer 2, but the watch that I truly wanted, but I just couldn't stretch to, was this guy, the Rolex Submariner. You're in trouble. Buying this epitomizes what I like about watches. It's not this. I mean, that I like this, but it's everything that's led up to this process. It's everything that's gone before this thing. That is what I like about watches. It's the hunt that is just incredible. I've really enjoyed looking for this piece, and it has been slightly out of my budget. Things have changed. Our house has sold. We've paid the fees. The fees were less than half of what we thought they were, and that's increased my budget. And also it's helped that I bought this watch like a month ago, and so she hasn't forgotten about it, but it's kind of softened things a bit. But anyway, this was able to happen, and it's that hunt that I just love. It's been a long journey, but this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I bought it off eBay, which I haven't done before, and I will do a video. I'll do a video around this watch and a video talking about the whole eBay process, because it was pretty scary. And there's lots of checks that you have to do. But I'm satisfied that, one, this is real, and two, everything is legit within this watch. This watch is from 2002. It's a reference 14060M, and it's hardly been worn. It's never been serviced, which is a downside, but the plus side is it's never been polished. This thing is crispy. Lugs are sharp, everything's there, all the chamfering's there. It's got the laser etched crystal, and it doesn't have an S in it. It even has the back sticker, the green sticker on the back. It's not unworn. It has been worn, but it's in incredible condition. It came with the tag. Comes with, I don't know what this says, translate, I don't know what it is. Obviously got the papers, and it even has a little calendar card on the back. The cherry on the top with all of this, I bought the watch from the original owner, and it has his name on the papers. So I'm completely over the moon with this guy. Sorry about all the bags and that juvenile stuff. I couldn't help it. I will be doing a video going into detail as to why I bought this watch, this particular model, the 14060M, as opposed to the 1460, and the 2-line versus the 4-line. But this is honestly over the moon with this thing. I know it's a boring watch. I've already done the Rolex card. I know Rolexes are nice. I know there are far better watches out there and cheaper watches. But for me, the design of this thing is just... You can't fuck with this watch. It's just an amazing watch. And I feel this brings my collection together. So I've got the Explorer, and these two are going to be my everyday watches. I have the Grand Seiko to be the impressive piece. Despite the fact that this is the cheaper one out of the three, I think this is the best watch. Based on facts. It is factually a far better watch than these guys. The only thing that does annoy me about this watch is the idea that this thing is 17 years old and hasn't been serviced. It's been ticking or stuck in a box for 17 years. I wound it and it just starts ticking. In just under 3 years, this is going to stop ticking, and nothing is going to make it tick again unless it has a battery put in it. There's something weird about that. But that being said, this craps over both of these watches put together. Technically, it does. But I feel like this collection, for me right now, there are other watches that I would like, but I simply can't afford. But for right now, I kind of feel like this is a pretty hard-hitting collection. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this new Submariner, or old Submariner, new to me Submariner. Do hit subscribe down the bottom, because I will be doing some follow-up videos around this. I know people get annoyed with the whole Rolex stuff, but it's what I'm interested in. I am interested in other brands, but Rolex for me, there's just a thing there. I'm visiting a JLC event tomorrow, so there'll be JLC, there's Mont Blanc, what else is there? There's going to be another Patek video coming. There's more stuff coming. Guys, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon down below so you don't miss the future videos. Check me on Instagram at barkandjack, and I have a website, barkandjack.com, where I have old videos and articles that go up there. Check out my shop, barkandjack.shop, where you can get some premium NATO straps. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.